Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome back to the Locked On Blues podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network and your number one source for daily Blues content. I'm Josh Hyman.
And I'm Thomas Welch.
And we got a fun episode for you today, or tonight, I should say, if you're watching this on YouTube. Blues came away with a 5-2 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights after a very rocky start to the game. Lots to take away from it. Brandon Saad stayed hot with his third consecutive game with a power play goal. Defense looked a little bit better. Binnington continued to look strong. We're going to be getting into all of that and more. Yeah, 5 unanswered goals. Real fun game. But first, I want to thank anyone and everyone out there who is making us their first listen. We like making these short, bite-sized episodes. That way you can wake up, listen to it with your morning glass of coffee, cup of coffee. Maybe you have a coffee in the glass.
You can have a glass of coffee.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, thanks for anyone who makes us your first listen. But that being said, St. Louis Blues gave up 2 goals in the first 9 or so minutes of the game. Got everyone pretty dejected, I would say, myself included. Looking like it was going to be a real rough night for them. And then I get up to go get something from the fridge and sit back down, and it's 3-2 Blues. They scored, 3 goals in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and then continued to dominate, scored 2 more unanswered goals to go for a 5-2 victory. Huge win, especially after that start, especially against that loss to Dallas last game. Tommy, what do you like?
I liked everything, to be honest. You could talk about Vegas has kind of struggled at times this season. I think they said on the broadcast that they didn't score on their first 10 power plays of the season. So anytime you're looking down the barrel of that gun, that's a sight for sore eyes. But they also have the highest scoring defenseman on the season so far too. So that's always a threat that you have to take into consideration. That's one of the things that the Blues that helped the Blues in their Stanley Cup season was active defensemen. So the Blues kept that in check for the most part. I'd like to see them not give up a goal 30 seconds into the game and get me feeling like the wheels are going to fall off and here we go again. But what I did like to see after them going down 2-0 is they fought back. And I think when we talked about the Coyotes game, that was something that was missing in that game. It kind of wavered. We saw it against Edmonton. We saw it against the Canes. And then I think it just kind of goes in and out at times, but it was good to see that. And I hope that they drill home that is like this team has the skill and the talent and the personnel to never be out of a game, regardless of the score. I don't care if it was 3 down or 4 down. I mean, like you said, we scored 3 goals in the span of 2 minutes. So even if you're down 3 goals or even 4 goals, you score 3 goals and pull a goalie at the end of the game, you can turn a 4-0 deficit around real fast with this roster. So love those. I loved a lot of aspects of the Blues game, but those are the main points for me.
Yeah, and I think you could kind of see too, like the first 2 goals that the Golden Knights had were, basically like looked like it was practice for them out there. Wide open rebound, and then a breakaway on just a defensive miscue from the Blues. It really couldn't have been easier for the Vegas Golden Knights to get those opportunities early on. And I think they had 9 shots on goal over in the first 8 minutes of the game, and then they showed a stat with 5 minutes to go in the third period, they had 13 total. So from that point on, you could look at the offense and say, heck yeah, Blues scored 3 goals in 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but the defense clamped down too. And I feel like that's something that is equally as impressive as the offense going on the run, because we know the offense can do that. But the defense was sort of tested as well. Vegas is a team that doesn't go away, and we saw that tonight. They continued to put up chances even when it was 5-2. And the defense stood tall. It would have been really, really easy to get dejected and sort of get the wind taken out of your sails, giving up 2 goals that early. And Jordan Binnington deserves the same amount of praise. He was spectacular after giving up those first 2 goals. He continues to look really, really dominant over his past few games. So all in all, a really solid all-around performance from the Blues. Obviously, those early goals are scary. You know, you never want to get in the habit of giving up goals early because they can really just take the wind out of what could have been a productive game. But if they can, bounce back that quickly, it's not going to be a whole lot of times they're down 2-0 that early. So having that ability to pack an offensive punch so quickly is huge for the rest of the season. And they're going to have a couple games coming up that are important. They're playing Detroit next, team that's been sort of on the teetering on the edge of breaking through to being a pretty good team. I know, Tom, you were saying before the episode, a bit of a trap game potentially. Detroit is a team that I don't think a lot of teams are taken seriously, at least early on in the season, but they're making a lot of noise. So I would definitely like to see if the Blues can carry over this momentum into their next few games, because Tampa's coming up at the end of the month, and that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. And going back to the defense here for a second, I think we saw shades of every spectrum of what this Blues defense is capable of, really. I think we saw the best of the Blues defense, and like you said, stifling those shots. That was another thing that came up in the Stanley Cup. I think there were a couple of games where we held them to like under 20 shots, which is, if you're going to do that and you got Jordan Binnington in net 9.5, 9.8, 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to win those games unless you're going up against Ben Bishop in game 7 of the Western Conference final or something ridiculous. So I think, like I said, I think we saw shades of both sides of what the Blues defense is capable of when they struggle. They let goals in 30 seconds into the game, and when they're at their best, they're not only holding teams to low danger shots and perimeter shots, but they're not letting them shoot at all. And I think, like you alluded to, that's going to be extremely beneficial for them moving forward. Nico Mikkola had a great game, scored a goal.
Yeah.
Was this his second game of the year? Second goal of his career.
Yeah.
Right? That was a nice shot for your second.
It was. I wasn't like, I was kind of like, I glanced up. I saw Mikkola coming down to the 2-on-1. I thought I'm like, who was that? Who just sniped that? Which forward wears 77 again? Yeah, it took me a second. He looks like a he looked like a sniper out there. But that's the perfect like epitome of how the game went. Nico Mikkola flying down the wing. Everybody's playing with confidence. Everybody's rolling. And one guy that's been on fire is Brandon Saad, who has power play goals in his last 3 games. Hoping he can continue that streak. We're going to be talking about him and sort of the power play, the impact that some of the new additions have had, and more after a short ad break. But if you want to watch Brandon Saad, see if he can continue his goal streak or any other sport, you got to check out DirecTV Stream. Now tell me, Tommy, does this sound familiar? You got one device that lets you catch the game live, another that lets you stream your favorite TV shows, and you're watching sports highlights on your phone. You got your neighbors, best friends, uncles log in for the basketball game you want to watch. Well, I want to tell you about a way you can get all that entertainment you love without the hassle, and a great way to finally get your TV together. That's called DirecTV Stream. It brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, so you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. That means no more juggling remotes and no need to buy another device ever again. The best part is there's no annual contract, so you can get rid of the clutter and the confusion. Get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. That is directtv.com. Compatible device required, and content varies by package. We'll be right back. All right, Tommy, first, before we move on, the chat addressed it. I must address it. I know he had a good game tonight and he's been looking pretty solid, but Tage Thompson jersey, interesting choice.
Tage Thompson, dude, you got to rep for the boy. I was on the Tage Thompson train for a long time. That was kind of when I first really started getting into the deep catacombs of Blues Twitter, if you will. I think that was the first draft that I witnessed, and I always love drafts and prospects, obviously. So I really just took a liking to Tage, went to see him at prospect camp. My youngest brother and I went right behind the glass as he's ripping one tees and smokes one right at our face, shatters the glass right in front of us. So I'm like, ever since that happened, I was like, that's the stuff of like storybook legends and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I like Babe Ruth calls his shot, Tage Thompson shatters. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. So ever since that happened, I was like,
this you think he did it on purpose? You think he saw you and was like, I'm
gonna aim for this kid's noggin.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. No, but ever since then, I was like, this dude's sweet. I hope he just absolutely tears it up in the league. And when he got traded, I was like, I mean, we get Ryan O'Reilly, so I'm not gonna be mad, obviously, right? But still gonna root for the dude. So, and I actually got the jersey before he like a couple weeks, maybe not a couple weeks, like a month before he got traded, and it was the first like hockey jersey I ever bought, just because I just never got around to doing it, and I spent the whole like shebang on like the Adidas Authentic, and then he got traded, and so I like tweeted at Adidas, and I was
Brutal.
like, hey. Any chance I can get a different
Get an
jersey? And they DM'd me, yeah, and they're like, which one would you want? And I was like, how about a Ryan O'Reilly Winter Classic? So that one's in my closet. So I got both.
Wait, they gave you a free jersey?
Yeah, bro. You want to see it?
What? Why have I never heard this story? Why am I finding out live on the air?
Here, I'll get it real fast.
I'm gonna have to
entertain the crowd.
All right. Let's see. Wow, that is a Tage Thompson jersey. In fact, I can say anything about Tommy right now, and he can't hear me. Oh no, he's back. Okay, let's see. Let's see the Adidas jersey.
All right, so
This is the free scammed jersey.
Yeah, well,
that's
it was
beautiful.
Adidas hockey. It was when Adidas hockey was like going nuts about the. Like they were all over Twitter. Like it was like right when they just switched over, right? And so they were like just giving out free jerseys left and right, kind of, because I think they just wanted to improve their footprint. Yeah, and so I was like, hey, if you're giving out free jerseys, help someone out who just got yoinked, and they were like,
dang, that's an inspiring story. I might have to buy a Tarasenko jersey or right around the end of the season and just try to get a 2-for-1 deal.
I need one of the clowns. I need a retro, not like the reverse retro, because I think that's a little. I need the classic, authentic.
I got that Robert Thomas one of that.
Oh, that is nice. I like the Robert Thomas one. I was thinking my next one needs to be Rob Tom or Kyrou. So
that's what I was gonna say. Who is your next Blues jersey gonna be? You think
it might have to be Kyrou?
See,
I was mod for Rob Tom's Twitch chat, so that kind of holds a, you know.
I have a Kyrou, but it's his old number. So like, and he's had a breakout season. I want a new Winter Classic. The off-white jerseys. Anyways,
those are nice.
We're getting distracted. One guy who's been on fire, who's not named Jordan Kyrou, is Brendan Saad. 3 games, 3 power play goals, 4 goals over his last 3 games. What have you liked out of him and sort of the other new additions to the squad this year?
I think it just fits really well into the Blues system, really. You know, I mean, he's not going out there and trying to do everything by himself. Even though he's a skill guy, he's not going out there and trying to bang bodies. Because I feel like a lot of guys come over and they're like, oh, the system of the Blues is like grind it out, checking and like physical and all those things. And maybe they're like try and do too much in that. I feel like when Klim Kostin first got called up, he was just hitting everyone in sight, which is fine. Like, love that for you, Klim. Like, you're a bowling ball. We get it. But like sometimes it's better to try to like deflect the pass or like keep the puck in than than chasing bodies around and trying to fill up your kill sheet or whatever it might be. So I think he's come a long way in that regard. And I think his ice time tonight might be the most ice time he's had all season. Somebody fact check me on that, Peggy. Can you do that real fast?
10 minutes of ice time tonight?
Yeah, our temp Peggy is no, she's not. She's actually out of the office tonight. No, but yeah,
it's a late night episode. We're going off on tangents.
Yeah, we're just But I do think Klim had one of his better games of the season, and that's including the game that he scored 2 goals. Like, just I think in every zone he was doing what Craig Berube not only wants him to do, but kind of expects from him.
Yeah.
And I think like that's a new acquisition. Buchnevich has looked like everything you read about coming over from the Rangers. I think I saw one of those stat cards of him the other day, and he's just 90s like across the board. So love to see it. And Rangers fans are livid about the trade because,
especially now that Sammy Blago's down.
Well, I think they were mad before that just because he wasn't really like, I don't know if he wasn't contributing or if he was just playing like the physical role that they probably like. That's probably the reason that they acquired him, was to go out and hit people.
Yeah. And
they're expecting like him to be some kind of world beating prospect with all this skill. And that's not really, I mean, that can be his game, I guess, at times, but it really, that's not why they went out and got him. So,
Mm-hmm.
and if you're giving up a guy like Buchnevich, like
Right,
they were
you
like,
don't
why did
you
we
got
not
high
get a first round
expectations.
pick? Like all of this stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think all things considered, the return on investment has been consistently in the Blues' favor for a long time, but even more so now with Buchnevich and Saad. That's their
Oh
love
man.
child, Buchnevich.
Oh,
Oh my god.
almost midnight. In case you couldn't tell. That being said, we do got one more segment coming up. We're gonna use that to sort of look forward towards the Blues' schedule to close out November. A couple tough games, couple easy games. We're gonna talk about what it would take for them to get as many W's as possible. But first, if you're trying to get W's when you're around Thanksgiving time, you're looking for a snack that's maybe not so unhealthy for you. Out a Built Bar. It's the perfect time for Built Bars. Built Bar is the brand new holiday dessert. You can feast on something delicious and feel good about it. One slice of pie has upwards of 300 calories, and that's on the low end. Most Built Bars are only 130 calories and only 4 grams of sugar with plenty of protein. You can replace the coconut cream pie with a coconut Built Bar, or maybe you want to lay off that raspberry pie and get yourself a raspberry Built Bar. Best part is all Built Bars are healthy. They're low calorie, low carb, low fat, and high protein, and they're delicious, covered in 100% chocolate. Built Bar is a great option when you're hungry. If Thanksgiving isn't coming soon enough, you can get yourself a Built Bar or two. New surprises coming all month, including limited time flavors arriving at Built.com regularly. So check the site often, especially with Built Bar Black Friday coming up. Black Friday will be a huge event, all sorts of surprises. So go to built.com, use promo code LOCKED15. You'll get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com, and we will be right back. All right, Tommy. So, next game for the St. Louis Blues against the 8-9-3 Detroit Red Wings. Sort of on the come up for them. They're led by two of the best young prospects in the league in Mo Seider and, oh God, what's his name? I'm blanking.
Lucas Raymond.
Lucas Raymond, the dude with all the points and stuff.
He's a stud.
He is an absolute stud. I'm happy for Detroit fans. I feel like they've waited a long time for their team to be good again. But that being said, they're still kind of in the lower tier. So you said you think it might be a trap game. I would definitely agree. Especially with those Tampa games going up, it would be pretty easy to overlook the next stretch for the Blues. But any game is going to be tough, especially with the way that they've been playing lately. I feel like they're right on the cusp of sort of breaking into a nice little win streak like they did at the beginning of the season, start stringing some wins together. But that being said, they've still only got one win in a row at this point. What do you think it's going to take to sort of carry the momentum of this win into the next few games and get ready for a big back-to-back games against Tampa at the end of the month?
I think it's going to take not underestimating them, right? Because I feel like even for me, like playing fantasy hockey this season and like going into it, and even like after the Red Wings kind of got off to a hotter start than I expected from them, my knee-jerk reaction when you hear the word Red Wings is just lottery team, right? Because they've just been tanking for so many years. That tank can't stop anytime soon, right? I mean, they didn't get like some like insane prospect or like a first overall. They didn't get a Jack Eichel or like someone that's going to absolutely change the fabric of their the current situation of their franchise. So they're still going to be in that category for me. But Lucas Raymond potentially looks like, I mean, it's 20 games in, so hold your horses, right? But he looks like he could be that guy. Tyler Bertuzzi is lighting up the score sheet. Dylan Larkin is obviously always a factor, and like you said, Mo Seider is doing his thing on the defensive end. Lucas Raymond and Mo Seider, by the way, are Vegas's current favorites for the Calder Trophy at number 1 and number 2. So if that tells you anything across the league, they are very impressive with these prospects, and I think Alex Nedeljkovic in goal too. I mean, a lot of people gave the Canes some feedback and say, hey, that's probably not a good idea getting rid of a young goalie like that that had such a good season. I think he was in the Calder Trophy voting as well. I believe somewhere around there. But I think he's eligible again this season. So I do think he is the real deal. He looks like a stud to me. Lucas Raymond doing his thing. So all those things taken into consideration, this feels like a trap game for me with the Blues if they go in with the mindset of, we should be able to handle this team easily and use this as a stat pattern. All those things that we said on this podcast in preparation for the Coyotes game. If they go in with that mindset, I could absolutely see them losing this game. So you have to approach this game like every other game, like this is the Edmonton Oilers, like this is like everyone else they're playing, like a very viable team, because they could look back. Honestly, we could look back on this game at the end of the season and be like, wow, we really did not know how good the Red Wings were going to be leading up into this game. They could go on an absolute tear and they could make a push for the playoffs. Like, we really have no idea right now. So
yeah, I definitely think it would be easy to overlook the next few games, looking at, not back-to-back days, but back-to-back games against a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning. Coming off a big win tonight, it would be easy to sort of overlook the next few games. But it's about sort of playing the same hockey, whether you're playing the Tampa Bay Lightning or whether you're playing the 2-win Arizona Coyotes. And we've definitely seen the Blues struggle with that. They sort of play a little bit lighter when they're playing teams that that maybe aren't at the top of the standings. But I think tonight was a really good sign, because going down 2-0 early, it would have been very, very easy for the Blues to check out of the game and have that one end, 3 or 4-0, 4-1, whatever. Not only did they not fold and not do that, they just absolutely put a stranglehold on the Golden Knights, flipped the tables. Like, well, some people were probably thinking it was a good time to go take a bathroom break because the game was out of hand. So if they play like that, they can beat any team in the NHL. And they're going to have to play that way against the bottom feeders. They're going to have to play that way against the top tier teams of the league. But they've shown that they can do that. They've beaten some good teams early on. They've also struggled to good teams and struggled to bad teams and beaten bad teams. So we've seen it all from the Blues so far. About at the one quarter mark of the season, 25% of the way through. So I'm hoping we get some consistency moving forward, and I think we will.
This also might be a game where you just throw in Ville Husso to see what happens.
Yeah,
I don't know
really
why
solid.
it doesn't feel like Jordan Binnington has been exhausted or tired or anything. But I think as like hey, we like what you're doing. You look really good. We'll give you some more games.
Mm-hmm.
Throw Ville Husso in there. I don't think, even if this is a trap game, I don't think you're risking a situation where you're putting Ville Husso in a position to just fail. Like, I mean, if he's saving shots against Lucas Raymond, like, that's a tough feat, but it's not the Tampa Bay Lightning, right? So, I think, I don't know, the increase of games for him will be good in his development and maintaining his confidence. And like Hitch always used to say, it's always good to have like one or two starting goalies as opposed to one. So you can swap them in and out and help you down the long run. Not only keep the miles down on Binner, but keep the confidence up on Ville Husso. That's going to pay dividends for this entire team's confidence.
Right. I think you hit the nail on the head there. Going to be a fun stretch of games, and we're going to have it all covered for you here on the Locked On Blues podcast. But that being said, I think that's all the time we have today. So thanks, everyone, so much for listening. Make sure you hit that follow or subscribe button on whatever podcast platform you're listening to us on. That way you never miss a new episode. Also, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube, Locked On Blues. That way you can be like Leah, Mitchell Ward, and Greg Kane, and anyone else whoever hops in the chat. We have so much fun getting you guys involved in the show. So if you want to join them, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Hit that notification bell because we go live with every single episode that we do. You can also follow us on our other socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook at Locked On Blues. You can follow me on Twitter at Josh Hyman NHL. Follow Tommy at TWelcher15. Thanks so much for listening, and as always, let's go Blues.